Hi, this is Sarah Mikesell with thecattlesite.com, and today we're here with Doug Hilbig. He is a veterinarian with Zoetis. Thanks for being with us today, Doug.
No problem. Nice to be here.
Thank you. We hear a lot about antibiotics and antibiotic use in popular media. Can you talk to me a little bit about Zoetis' philosophy about antibiotic use and antibiotic resistance?
So we do manufacture antibiotics, so we do use them, we do sell them. So the one thing we do want to do is we do want to protect them from any kind of resistance issue and be able to hold them within the industry as long as we can. The big problem is that sometimes the diagnostics that we do and that show resistance don't have direct correlation to not having sufficient efficacy in the field. So we don't try to overuse our antibiotics, and in the industry we really don't. In the industry, we want to use prudent use of our antibiotics because they are not cheap. They are expensive, and the more that we use, it's more money out of our pocket. If we're not getting efficacious use out of it, we really don't want to be using those.
Right.
But through numbers, through some of the things that we've done in the history, we know what groups of cattle, so we do mass treat, we do give groups of cattle antibiotics, but it's because through the history we found out that if we don't, these cattle are more likely to get sick and more likely to die. So, you know, this is a business. We do need to be able to make money off of it, but also just out of good husbandry, we don't take care of that, then we end up having problems. So we're not trying to overuse antibiotics, we're trying to use it just when we need to.
Very good. So it's all about working with your veterinarian or your Zoetis veterinarian to be able to make these recommendations and make sure that cattle ranchers and farmers are doing the right thing.
Exactly. So use of good records, use of, you know, as a company we're trying to improve the testing, the link between testing and results that we get to see what antibiotics we should be using. You know, at this point there's a little bit of a gap between our diagnostics and what we should be using for antibiotics. So we're always trying to help improve that. But the closer relation that we get with antibiotic usage and results, it's better for the whole industry.
And it seems like that diagnostics area is growing quickly.
Yes.
That use of data and diagnostics is going to come together hopefully very soon.
So using a good diagnostic, a good record keeping, and using your veterinarian to be able to decide what antibiotics I should use and what vaccines I ought to be using in my herd.
Very good. And are there other management things or management tools that people have to try and decrease that stress, which is what you're talking about, these calves being under?
Yes, exactly. So the stress is the big deal. A lot of times, the more we can do, know the cattle, where the cattle come from, reduce the stress before shipping, the stress after we get them, after they arrive in our location, the less stress they have, the less antibiotics we have to be able to use. A lot of times we're just not able to control Mother Nature. Mother Nature is sometimes our biggest stress.
Very good. Well, thanks so much for your time today, Doug.
No problem. Thank you.
This is Sarah Mikesell with thecattlesite.com.